As people are joining, just a quick introduction to myself. My name is Ian May, based out of Austin, Texas, part of the Sales and Customer Success Organization for enterprise companies. So far, honestly, the event I think has been going really well. Seems like we've been able to have minimal issues of connectivity. Obviously, we'll do our best to keep internet bandwidth at a maximum. Harold, I'm excited to have you here as well. Yeah, I'm a pretty big Austin representative. People, I think, have gotten tired of me talking about barbecue. For those of you who are vegetarians, I actually have no problem grilling fruits and vegetables as well. Grilled pineapple is one of my favorite things. So for just some of the details, we will be using Slido to manage any questions. And so feel free during the conversation, post your questions in Slido. That'll help us to be able to kind of keep track of it. I'll do my best to facilitate that. We'll have a Q&A at the end. We'll be able to go all the way up to time, and we'll have another 5 minutes after the fact. I'll be monitoring as best as possible, but just to make sure everybody's aware, we do have a code of conduct. So please represent yourselves amazingly well, the awesome individuals that all of you are. Shashank, looking forward to this conversation. Really excited to be able to see some of these workflows that you're going to be sharing with us. In terms of getting started, I will kick things over to you, drop my camera and mic. But like I said, everyone feel free to use Slido to be able to ask any questions, and we will address them. First question, Harold, what's your favorite barbecue in Austin? Favorite is Valentina's Barbecue Tex-Mex, and that is the last I'll say about barbecue. Won't dig in too much in that. Anyways, Shashank, take it away.
Okay, so fortunately we have hit the sweet spot of 50 folks, and welcome all to this particular session, and which is all about integrations, extending workflows beyond just Postman. At Postman, we are very well aware of the kind of softwares that you use in your daily workflows, and with integrations, we try to bring in this ability of extending the workflows beyond just Postman. So moving on, I'll briefly touch upon the agenda for this particular session. We'll go through the introduction to the integrations, what integrations actually mean to Postman, and you'll see that how it is just beyond the traditional definition of integrations. We'll touch upon some of the interesting use cases, and majority of the time would be spent explaining these use cases to you. And finally, we'll touch upon the interesting roadmap that we have ahead in the year. Okay, so before diving into this session, something about me. So I'm Shashank Awasthi. I'm based out of India. I'm working as a product manager with Postman. Prior to which, I've had a fair amount of experience in product development and product management with one of the telecom majors. And beyond work, I'm a music fan and love to sing my heart out time to time. Okay, so let's dive into this particular session, right? So what exactly is integration? So when we talk about integrations in Postman, we actually refer to quite a few things, and something that comes to top of our mind is usually the first-party integrations that we have with various providers. We support various use cases such as backing up the collection/schemas on the version control, sending the monitor alerts to APMS such as Datadog. Also, we could send results to your messaging software such as Slack and MS Team. This is again one of the most used integration that we have with Postman. But the integration definition goes just beyond the first-party integration, wherein we also include something such as interceptors and proxy, which have been traditionally very much utilized in Postman as part of integrations, wherein we capture the request, the HTTP request, and bring the request in Postman for your analysis. And we also include some aspects of Open API schemas. How do we import them? How do we author them as part of integrations as well? Just before this, Ian, can you post that poll? People will probably start engaging.
Yep.
So
Jump
I do
over to
have
the
a
poll tab, and you
yeah
can answer in the poll.
yeah. So we do have a question for you. I'll just repeat the question. How many providers or the softwares do you believe Postman integrates with? We'll just wait for a few seconds before we reveal the results, because this is very interesting to gauge the kind of awareness that we have around integrations, and we'll love to know about it. Okay, let me hit on.
We've got about 40 votes so far.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's see the results. Uh, okay, okay. Even I have to click on something. Okay,
Is it
so yeah,
is it
I
not
can.
allowing you to show the results?
Yes, I can see that now. And most of you are right? So we do have 16 plus integration. In fact, we have somewhere around 19 integrations. And that is the interesting aspect, right? I see a lot of you have answered between 6 to 15. But our idea is to grow this number manyfold in the coming year, and hope we'll reach there soon. Okay, so this is at broad level the kind of landscape that we have with integrations. You'll see that we have integrations with various version control tools like Bitbucket, GitHub, two integrations with APMS like Datadog, Coralogics. We have integrations with API gateways such as AWS Gateway, and we also have integrations with your traditional messaging softwares such as Slack and MS Teams. Okay, great. So I'll dive right into the first demo that I have, and I have a pre-recorded video for you. This particular integration is all about syncing your schemas to repository. Now, before I dive into the demo, the configuration is pretty straightforward. I would like to tell you more about how did we came up about this particular integrations. So we know for a fact that Open API schemas, or the schemas in general, are authored in Postman as well as beyond Postman, and we needed a way for people to collaborate in Postman as well as beyond Postman, wherein we came up with this particular integration which provides a two-way sync between Postman as well as your version control. Now what it lets you do is that whatever collaboration is happening within Postman or version control, it's synced between these two systems seamlessly. Hence you can actually work very closely with your development lifecycle, with your version control as well as Postman. Now if you would have heard the keynote speech by Abhinav, he briefly touched upon this new Git integration that we are planning this particular year, and you'll see some flavor over here, and the new integration is going to be the extension of the existing integration. I hope you can see my screen. This traditionally is the workspace, which is the key part of Postman. And here you can see that we have APIs. I've created an API which is called Integration Galaxy Demo API, and you'll see that you have the define tab open with wherein you have the whole schema being configured. Now you'll see this button, the CTA, which says connect to repository. It would take you to the configuration of this integration. Now, after this, it's pretty straightforward. You provide the access token. You provide certain details such as the name of the integration. You already have the workspace as well as the API pre-selected. We'll ask for the repository on which you want to configure this integration. This is the version control repository, and the version control over here is GitHub, as you can very well see. Here we are selecting the workspace as well as the API, and now we'll go ahead and select the repo as well. Now you see that the integration is practically configured. There is one additional step. As you can see that this particular integration is at the schema level. Within APIs, you have different versions, and each version has a schema. Hence, you need to go a step further and define the version over which you want to configure this integration. Hence, you'll go ahead and select the version. You'll select the branch within the repository over which you want to configure. You have an optional option to add the directory as well as the file name for this particular integration. As soon as you enter the file name, you hit add API version, and boom, we are ready with the integration. You can go ahead and check your version control system. You'll see that the schema is already present over there. Okay, I'll stop this video over here itself and move on to the next demo that we have. Now, another interesting use case and one of the most used integration is the integration with messaging tools like Slack and MS Teams. In Postman, we are aware that a lot of you use monitors to run your APIs to check their health, the performance, and we are very well aware that you cannot just keep looking at Postman for the monitor result. Hence, we have this particular integration which would send out these results to Slack, MS Teams, and you can very well check the health of the monitor, the availability of your API, and various other things. What we have seen over the times is that companies have this interesting way of monitoring these APIs in Slack. They have these channels over which all these monitor results are directed to, and all the stakeholders join that particular channel to keep a tap on that particular API without even knowing okay, what Postman is. So again, extending your workflows beyond just Postman, so that users beyond Postman can also use APIs or keep a track on APIs. I'll quickly move on to the demo. I'll speed up the video a bit. Here again, you can see that we are in a workspace and we are in the monitor tab. Here we have a monitor which is Integration Galaxy Monitor. I have intentionally created a monitor which is unhealthy, and we'll show how we create the integration over here. So you go to the home screen and you have integrations on the left panel. This is the primary hosting of the integrations, and you'll see that all the integrations that are configured by your teams are actually listed over here. The schema sync integration that we created is also present over here. You have a tab that says browse all integrations, and you have the list of integrations over here. You have a request for a new integrations, which would take you to GitHub, where you can actually go ahead and file a request for new integration. We'll keep a tap on it and see if we can honor your request. Here we have come to the Slack integration bit, and we'll go ahead and do an add integration. This is a typical OAuth flow, wherein we would ask you to authorize us to gather data, as well as ask you for the channel over which you want to receive integrations. Once the channel is selected, we'll ask for certain more details about the name of the integrations for you to monitor, the workspace, as well as the monitor over which the integration has to be created. Here you'll see that we are selecting the workspace, then we are selecting the monitor. This Slack channel is already selected, and we'll go ahead and add the integration. As simple as that. You have the integration configured. You'll see the integration has been listed over here. Once you click onto that particular tab, you'll see this integration run log page, where you can go ahead and edit the integration as well as delete the integration. Also, navigate to the entity over which the integration is created. Here I've navigated back to the monitor, and I'll run the monitor once to see the results on Slack, and we'll see the results on Slack, and I'll pause a bit as soon as it comes to Slack. Okay, so we have the sorry. This moment, guys. Okay, I'll run this video again. Okay, so this is something that I want to draw your attention to. So this is a particular message that is received over Slack once that monitor is run. Uh, you get to know the status of the monitor run. As we can see that the status failed. You'll see that how many of the test cases passed out of the total test cases. You'll see total number of requests, the total response time, as well as some of the failed tests. So essentially, what you're doing is that beyond just Postman in Slack, where you are working day to day, you are keeping a tab on the APIs that you have so that you can take up action whenever required. Now, this particular bit actually extends beyond just uh, messaging tools like Slack and MS Teams. And when it comes to sending alerts, we also send alerts to some of the incident management tools, such as PagerDuty, right, which helps the support folks of keeping a tab on anything weird happening to your APIs, as well as completing your support flow, the product support flow that you have, anything related to support of the APIs. Okay, another interesting use case I'll dive into this right away, which is integrations with the APMs. Now we have seen that the trend of using APMs have been increasing a lot nowadays. People tend to use some of the APMs, which are the central tool for monitoring any sort of performance at all. And why do we lag behind when it comes to APIs? Hence, we send all the results that we have for the monitor run into the APMs, where you can have a single view of everything. Now, the interesting aspect of integration with the APMs, and this is something that we have seen a lot of our customers doing, is that you get an option to analyze the APIs along with some of the system metrics. Hence, you, like, for example, you can see the correlation between the API performance as well as the CPU usage. Let's say, the latency, how does latency affects the CPU usage, or vice versa. Also, you have a nice dashboard which provides a single view for you to have a complete end-to-end view of your APIs as well as your system metrics in one go. I'll go ahead and expand this video again. I'll slightly increase the speed, not much. So here again, we are on the home screen where we have the integration available, and I've gone to the Datadog integrations. You have actually multiple ways in which you can create an integration. And here we are on the configuration screen again, where you're typing out the name of the integration. Will select the workspace as well as the monitor. And one of the interesting aspect with Datadog integration is that Datadog actually supports two URL, a .com URL for US audience, as well as a .eu URL for European audience, and we support both of these domains. We'll go ahead and add the integrations, and we'll come back to this particular screen where we'll go to the Run Log page. As you can see, we can navigate to the entity using this particular screen itself, and we'll go to the screen to the entity and go ahead and run this to see the results in Datadog. I've forced run a monitor, and you can see that the monitor has run. You see a lot of details over here. You'll see details about the total latency. You'll see details about how many tests passed, how many tests failed, and we'll show how all this data is actually fed into the APMs for you to analyze from. As you can see that two of the tests failed. This is the same monitor that we used actually for the Slack integrations, and you'll see the difference of sort of results when seen in Slack versus Datadog. Now we are on Datadog, and when you go to the metric summary, you'll see all the Postman supported metrics over here. So we do have errors, we do have failed tests, pass tests, request count, total latency, warnings, so on and so forth. We'll go ahead and also show you the dashboard that we have for you. dashboard is something that we talked about, and we'll show you the dashboard that we have created. So this is a typical dashboard that you'll see companies usually create, wherein you would have various Postman, entities, Postman metrics such as latency, request count, so on and so forth, combined with something on the right most corner, which is the CPU usage. Now you don't see any sort of CPU usage because it wasn't configured on the right agent, but you typically see a CPU usage corresponding to the API's performance. Now I'm going back to the integration screen again and going back to the Datadog integration. I want to show you the run log page, and you can see that the integration successfully ran at a particular instance of time. Now, in case you have any sort of errors, this is the page that would tell you there are errors in your integrations with an appropriate message. Now, we have been having requests around Datadog integrations to revamp it. So we are actually planning to revamp the whole APM integration to actually include a few of more metrics, metrics at request level, or metrics about the bytes that you sent or received, or metrics about the HTTP statuses that you have for the APIs. Hence, we on and on we try to improve the amount of data that the amount as well as the quality of data that we send across to various tools for you to have plethora of options to play with. Okay. Okay, so we are left with 10 minutes, and I have one more demo. Before this, again, let's have a look at the dashboard. We'll see that we have latency, we have the request count, and we have various Postman metrics along with some of the system metrics, and we can see the impact of the system metrics over, let's say, the latency. So this particular view is very useful usually for the performance engineers to constantly monitor the APIs in their production environment. Hence, this is one of the most interesting and one of the most used integrations that we have today.
So hey, so Shashank, before you transition, because we're on the topic of APMs, there are questions right now in Slido about Sumo Logic and Splunk integrations being planned as well. Yep. Those are the questions. Are either of those being looked at for integration?
Yeah, so we definitely have some of the integrations that you talked about, that we are looking at. What you guys can, what you folks can also do is that go to GitHub, and we have the request created for all these integrations. If not, you can go ahead and create an integration request over there. But the name that you talked about, we do have them in mind, and we are actively looking forward. And that flavor of this you'll see also in the roadmap that we have. Does it sound good?
I think that helps answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, I'll move ahead with the next bit. Okay, this is something that you might have heard in other sessions as well, right? Postman is all about APIs, and API schema is the core of the APIs today, right? And hence we as Postman provide you a way to easily include that particular schemas in your Postman workflows, wherein we provide you a way to import the schema within Postman, author them, provide some sort of validation over these schemas, as well as generate the core collection out of the schema. Now we know that Postman has all been around collections. People author their test cases in collection, and we know the importance of generating a collection from a schema. Hence, we provide all this facility to you. I'll quickly again walk you through one of the demos wherein we do the imports. We are again in the workspace that we have, and we have an import CT over here. As you can see, there are various options to import from. We are going to demo the latest addition to it, which is import from the code repo, but you always have the option to import it from files, folder, links, and raw text as well. When it comes to code repo, we support 2 providers as of now, GitHub and Bitbucket, and we plan to add more providers over here. So this is a classic flow where you do the OAuth, and once authenticated, you'll see that your org is selected. You get to select the repo. Once the repo is selected, you can select the branch. Once the branch is selected, you'll see the list of the APIs as well as collections or environments that you have over there for the import. So for this particular demo, we'll focus on the APIs. For the API import, you have bunch of options for the imports. You can link a collection directly with this particular API. I have linked this collection as a documentation, and you'll see a bunch of other options that you have while importing the APIs. Once imported, you can also go ahead and publish this API directly to your private API network. We are not going to do this. And we are going to close this modal, and you see one more API is now present in your workspace. Once you click on this particular API, you go to the Define tab, and you'll see the whole schema over here. Now you'll see the magic of the validation, the lint validation that we have. I'm making a small intentional error in this particular use case. You'll see that I've removed S from the path, and you quickly see that there are 2 issues found. You can expand and see what are the 2 issues. You see that there is an invalid property named that path, and there is a missing property named that paths. As soon as I correct it, you'll see the errors are gone, and this is pretty much real time. So this particular validation would help you out authoring these schemas at the best. Also, we have seen that I linked the collection to as the documentation. Hence, you see a collection is already generated. You can go ahead and validate these collections against the schema, and you'll see a constant validation. You have the option to validate it over and over again. Once you go ahead and make changes to your schema, you can go back and start making those validations again and start making those changes again to your collections. So this is pretty much it, from the demo's point of view. I'll quickly touch upon the integrations roadmap, and then we'll leave some time for question and answers. So as we had some of the questions in the chat, we do have a plan to include a lot more APMs for the integration. Some of the names that you pointed out are definitely in our mind, and we'll plan them out soon, right? Then you have integrations with incident management tool. One of the latest integrations that was not included while the time I was creating this demo is the option integration, which will be coming out soon, probably within just after Postman Galaxy. Another interesting area that we have seen people asking us to integrate with is the CI/CD solutions, and this is again something this year we would definitely be tracking very closely, and we are planning some of the CI/CD integrations. Then we already have integrations with AWS API Gateway, but it's in a nascent stage, and we plan to revamp that particular integration and also include various other API gateways. Hence, that area is also covered. Another interesting area which people have been requesting us for is log analysis tools. So we do have plans for adding integrations wherein the logs can be fed into Postman, just like interceptors and proxy intercept your HTTP traffic. We would have integrations with log retrieval tools which can feed logs into Postman and which can further be analyzed as HTTP requests within Postman. Within slides, I do have some of the important links for you, and I'll open the stage for questions. Ian, do we have a list of questions that needs to be addressed?
I have a few questions. So they asked about integration. So we shared a link for you to be able to submit requests for integrations. One of the questions that we did have is a question about how to build customer integrations. So there is an API, but asking about being able to send webhooks, and are those the only extensibility points?
As of now, yes. So you do have Postman APIs as well as webhooks. Combination of these two actually can be used to create custom integrations, but that is how far we go today, at least when it comes to creating custom integrations.
Got it. Okay, so next upvoted one is there a way to export or generate an open API spec from an existing collection? So somebody's built a collection manually and now want to export that to open API.
Yeah. So again, something which is in our pipeline pretty soon, and you'll see this coming up pretty soon. And we have this particular thing in mind. We already have some of the open API, like open source projects which can do this, but we are formally introducing this process now in Postman, and you'll see this pretty soon. We don't have it today, but you'll see this pretty soon.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, so next question, what API gateway integrations do you currently support?
So we do support AWS API Gateway today. That is the only API gateway integration that we have, and that is also fairly new. We are gathering feedback on how the API gateway integration needs to work because it's quite different from the traditional VCS integrations or APM integrations, which are very famous. Hence, we are gathering feedback, and we plan to add more API gateways within this year itself.
And so Elon asks, what APM integrations do we have? Sounds like we've kind of covered this, but you can go ahead and kind of finish up all the APMs that we support.
Yep. So we do have we do have Datadog. We do have Coralogics. We do have Keen.io when it comes to APM. Also, something related of the incident management tools. We have PagerDuty. We have BigPanda. And so on and so forth. So there are plethora of options out there for APMs as well as incident management tools.
Got it. And then the last question that's been asked is integrations with GitHub Actions.
Okay, so now this is something interesting. We are still figuring it out how that would look like. We do have some open source projects which do have direct integrations with GitHub Actions, but to be honest, we are figuring out what would be the right flow. But we do have this in our mind, and GitHub Action is definitely in our plan for the integrations.
Got it. So, I mean, I think, that's definitely kind of coinciding with a lot of the work that we've been doing with the just overall CI/CD, right? And I think, being able to utilize Postman Newman, being able to create Jenkins scripting, that I think alleviates a lot of those types of integration requirements, especially because, when you ask about something like GitHub Actions, GitLab, CI, Circle CI, who's one of our sponsors here, that the different things, like what would integration really look like, right? And I think Postman Newman I think answers a lot of those use cases for when you'd really want to pull your APIs into those types of platforms, those types of tools. So, and last question, saw a slide with GitLab CI. Is that an integration from Ismail?
Can you come back again? Sorry, yeah.
Oh, I apologize. Ismail asked that he saw a slide with GitLab CI. He's asking if that is also an integration.
No, so for GitLab, we don't have a CI integration. For GitLab, we do have an integration with, for backing up your collections today. So that is the GitLab integration that we have today. Ian, you are on mute. Hello, Ian, you are on mute. Okay, I see that Ian has left.
Can you hear me now?
Back again. Yeah, he's joined back again.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, it looks like that's all the questions that we have. So thank you, Shashank, for this presentation. I think, honestly, for a lot of the people who are here today, they're excited about what they're able to do with Postman. I'm sure we would love to see more integrations, more business development partnerships where we can provide the power of tools that they're already using in microservices, in their ecosystem, and being able to see that today. So the work that you're doing, honestly, is at the forefront, I think, of what our users are hoping for. So thank you for sharing. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Definitely join us at the booth. Shashank, I'll be popping over there. I'd love for you to join me as well. And for anybody else who has additional questions, we'll be over in the booth, so you can continue to ask them there. And we can take it from there. Thank you guys for joining.
Thanks a lot, folks. It was nice interacting with everybody. Thanks, folks.
Thanks, guys.